How's it going, everyone? Ian Patrick here, and tonight I'm reviewing a picture that was recommended to me by one of my biggest fans, one of my biggest viewers. So be sure to send out recommendations to me, guys, in the comments section, and if I take a look at it and I think it's interesting, I'll definitely go ahead and watch it. Tonight's movie review is His Kind of Woman, and it came out in 1951, and it's a genre that I don't typically watch. It's a film noir picture. That's not my favorite genre. In fact, I remember years ago I reviewed Nightmare Alley, and I didn't give it too many stars, and that's one of my reviews that a lot of people don't agree with. In fact, I think I have a lot of downvotes on it, but I'm very picky with film noir pictures, including this one. But anyway, I'm digressing too much. This is a RKO Productions film. Howard Hughes actually had a lot to do with the production of it, which is maybe why it's a little bit scattered. We'll get to all of that though when we get to the plot. It stars Robert Mitchum. It stars Jane Russell, and it has Vincent Price, which honestly, I was told Vincent Price was in this, and he's not a spooky character as he usually was, because I had seen The House of the Seven Gables, and I thought, man, I just love watching him in pictures where he's not in, a creepy character. So it was such a pleasure watching Vincent Price in this, playing Mark Cardigan. He in this picture he plays an actor, like a Shakespearean actor, and he's just so over the top and such a joy to watch. It also has Tim Holt. I note him because he was in The Magnificent Ambersons, another RKO film. He was the bratty boy in The Magnificent Ambersons. So now every time I see him, because I love that movie, but every time I see him, I like to note him. It also has Raymond Burr. Lee Van Cleef was apparently supposed to play the villain in this, but they had recorded 3/4 of this role's character, his scenes or whatever in the film, and Howard Hughes was just so mental that he had seen Raymond Burr in another film, and he thought, man, I really want him to be in my movie, because he had so much to do with His Kind of Woman. He was obsessed with the production of this, and so he kicked Lee Van Cleef out, and he put Raymond Burr in, and they had to spend tons of more money reshooting it, and it was just crazy. Anyway, Raymond Burr, he was fine in this, but I think Lee Van Cleef would have been okay too. And we also have Jim Backus, who I know him because he was, of course, in Gilligan's Island, and he's really funny to watch. So we have a really good cast in this film, honestly. But it's just unfortunate that I didn't think Robert Mitchum and Jane Russell had good chemistry. In fact, Mitchum was very flat in this. I feel like he's not quite how the great actor that we get in The Night of the Hunter or Cape Fear. I don't know. I like Robert Mitchum, but I just don't think he had found his true form in terms of acting yet. This was directed by John Farrow and also Richard Fleischer. I'm not sure how to say that. Fleischer, he did the ending scenes. He came in because Howard Hughes said, you know what? We need to add some stuff. We need to spice this up and have like this big action sequence with shootings on a yacht and a bunch of other scenes. And honestly, I'm kind of glad he did add this, because the first hour of this movie was so slow. So I'm glad they added those scenes. But funny enough, Fleischer did not want to direct this at all. He didn't want anything to do with it, but Howard Hughes basically coerced him into doing it, because Fleischer had already directed The Narrow Margin for RKO, and Howard Hughes said, you know what, if you don't come in and work on His Kind of Woman, we're not gonna release The Narrow Margin. So he was like, okay, I'll do it. Howard Hughes is just he's such a character. Just go watch The Aviator with DiCaprio. It's a great movie, and you'll learn a lot about him. Or pick up a biography. There's plenty on Howard Hughes. And it's interesting because Luella Parsons, she had this to say. She said, "This is the hottest combination that ever hit the screen." In fact, you'll see that on the movie poster that is in this video. But I can't believe she said that. I don't think they had crazy chemistry. Jane Russell, she was okay, but I don't think she's the greatest femme fatale, honestly. I just don't. But like I had said about the first, okay, so we're gonna get into the plot now, and I'll start out by saying yes, the first hour is very slow, and you just don't know what's going on. It's a mystery. Like Robert Mitchum's character Dan is a gambler. We see him getting beaten up, and then he's told, if you go down to Mexico, we will pay you a large sum of money, no questions asked type of thing, and then you come back and we'll give you more money. Very sketchy. So he basically has to take the deal. Probably he'll be killed if he doesn't. But so he goes down to Mexico, just very slow. In fact, Robert Mitchum said that a lot of the speaking, the script was just done on the spot, which I honestly believe because it's just so slow. And then he comes across the femme fatale, Jane Russell, in a little cantina. She's singing a song. It's actually a really nice scene, I must say. And he's got the hots for her. And they basically both get on a flight and they go to a little resort in Mexico near the beach. And it's a beautiful set. This is one of my favorite things about the film is I really love the set. I love the cast. You know, it was so strange because it's an interesting bunch of people at this resort. And an hour in, we still don't know what's going on. In fact, I said that to my family that, man, this really has a Twilight Zone feel to it because we don't know what's going on. And several other people, it's like, why are they here too? Jane Russell's character, we sort of learn that she's having an affair with Vincent Price's character, Mark Cardigan, who's, I mentioned, is a famous actor. And Cardigan honestly saved this film for me. He's so funny. Such a joy to watch, because it's interesting when there's movies where you have someone like Mitchum who he doesn't show much emotion. In fact, even when he's getting beaten up in this film, he's just like, you know, he doesn't show much emotion. And then you put that next to a guy like Vincent Price, who's probably trained in the theater, just an incredible actor. It's like, it's night and day. So honestly, Vincent Price stole the show in all the scenes. So we eventually learn that there's this plot that Mitchum had like ripped off Raymond Burr's character in like a gambling situation, something along those lines. And now Burr, he's like an Italian mafia guy who he's trying to create a new identity, and he's going to steal Robert Mitchum's face. And it's like and then he has like this German doctor. This is starting to sound like a 007 film. So he's gonna steal his face somehow through some crazy treatment, surgery. This is sounding wacko, but the ambiance of the film, you know, it's got that film noir feel to it. Like I said, it's not my favorite genre, but this film is definitely worth a watch. I'm not gonna hate on it too much, but my biggest problem with this film was just I didn't feel the chemistry between Russell and Mitchum. And it's funny because they went on to make another RKO movie together a year later called Macau, which I don't know if I'll ever see it. Maybe one day, but not anytime soon after seeing this. But like I said, so I'll note towards the end, there's a scene. It's interesting because the movie's so serious for about the first hour and 20 minutes. But then the film starts to become sort of like a comedy because Vincent Price's character starts taking over. He's like this actor who he's looking for like the meaning of life, and he learns like, okay, like in all my movies I play this hero, but now I get to actually be a real life hero and go save Robert Mitchum's character, because he's been taken off to on the yacht. He's been being held captive, and so Vincent Price's character, he loads up with guns, and at one point he puts on a cape, and he's just like, he's so funny. In his scene where he's still on land and he's like in a shoot off with the bad guys. He's in a shoot off and he's a good marksman. So that was a really good scene. And then there's this really funny scene where he's getting the Mexican federal police to help him in this situation, and he's like basically telling everyone, come on, man up, man up. And there's a scene where they all get in this little boat together, and it starts going forward, and then it starts sinking and sinking and sinking, and then they all go down in the water together, sort of like a Three Stooges stunt. And I read that this scene cost $150,000 alone to film. Was it worth it, Howard Hughes? I mean, I would say it was, because I think that scene will stick with me forever. So that was a really funny scene. The picture itself costs, well, I've read different things actually. I read that it made money, I read that it lost money, but I'm gonna go with the fact that it lost $850,000, which was the total amount spent to film those ending scenes that Howard Hughes just had to throw in there. I'm gonna give this movie a 2.5 stars. Now, my main reason for that is because the first hour and 15 was it was too slow. It was way too slow. We were in the dark way too long about what the heck was going on. There's like this shroud of mystery. I mean, I get that. I love that in movies, but it was too long in this, and Mitchum and Russell just couldn't carry it for that long. Like I said, Price had to basically come in and carry the weight of this film on his shoulders, in my opinion, and he did. I mean, I would have probably gone to a 2 stars if Vincent Price wasn't so great in this. I think this is worth a watch. Like I said, I'm not a film noir expert. I'm sure there's a lot of film noir people who sometimes stumble upon my channel, and if you don't agree with my opinion, I understand. Please feel free to add history to this. I'm sure there's a lot I'm missing, but I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will catch you all next time.